Hi, my name is Dan and I'm one of the DT evangelists here at Digital Tutors. In this video, we're going to look at a question from one of our users, Snipe202, on how to get some particles to render through a dielectric material. Okay, so to illustrate this, I have a simple glass cup that I've set up, and this just has the default dielectric material. And also have some particles. If I open up my attribute editor, you can see I've set the particle render type to be cloud. Okay, so let's go ahead and just real quick see what we're working with and render this off. And as we can see, we're able to see some of our particles here, but I need to go in and adjust the ray tracing in order to be able to see my dielectric material properly. Okay, so I'm going to save this render off so we can come back and compare to it. Let's open up our render settings, and under the quality tab, if we scroll down, we'll see our reflections, refractions, as well as our max trace depth for our ray tracing. So in order to give myself enough here, I'm going to say maybe bump it up to something like 6, 6, and 12. That way it'll have enough to go through the front side here and then the inside and all the way through for my cup here. Okay, so with that set, let's render this back out. And as you can see, we have our dielectric material set up here, but we're not able to see our particles. Now, it looks like I can see the back side of my glass here, so I should be able to see something that's inside of it. But just to test and make sure, let's go ahead and drop some sort of primitive in there just to see what it'll look like if we can render that out. Okay, so I'll save this off, and let's just come in and do a create polygon cube, just something simple. Maybe move it up, scale it up, so we have this in the center here. Hit 4 to go to wireframe, make sure it's right in the middle of our particle cloud. And as we can see, we're able to see our cube when we drop that in there. So this was before and then after. So the issue here is actually something to do with the particle cloud itself, or the particle shape itself, and not the ability to see within my glass. Okay, so the first place that I usually look when I'm working on a project and I have an issue with rendering just one particular object is to look at its render stats. Okay, so let's select the particle here and let's move over to find the particle shape. And just underneath the render attributes where we set this to be a cloud, we'll see render stats. And as we can see by default, the particle shape is not set to be visible in reflections or refractions. And since a dielectric material is basically a bunch of reflections and refractions, let's go ahead and turn that on. And let's open up our render view again. Let's save this off and re-render. And there are our particles. They're now showing up. So this was before, and this is now with the visible in reflections and visible in refractions turned on for the particle shape. Okay, so let's all look at how we can render out some particles through a dielectric material. Now, if you want to learn some more techniques for rendering with MORE, check out the MORE Tips and Tricks course.